If you're an author who's been struggling to sell your books on TikTok or even Facebook Reels or ads or whatever, listen up, because today I'm going to teach you my exact strategy for pulling scenes and for marketing my books. And we're going to be doing that with the third book in this series, which is one of my super duper smutty series. So if you're not into smut, don't worry, because you're not going to see any, because guess what? We don't market using the spicy scenes. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Kate. I've helped over 3,000 authors successfully share and market their books in order to make a full-time living online. And I also write really, really spicy romance books, and I use these strategies to market my own books and make money from my books on social media. And the stuff that I'm going to be teaching today and talking about in this YouTube video is going to be the exact stuff that I use for not just like TikTok posts, but also my Facebook ads, my Instagram ads, my Reels, my YouTube stuff, everything. Everywhere that I market my books, this is the strategy that I use. So the first thing to keep in mind is that we're not using blurbs to sell books. You know, that thing on the back of your book that tells people what it's about? That's not what's going to get people emotionally invested in the story. We are instead going to be using scenes from the book in order to sell the book. And you might be wondering, well, what about spoilers? What about spoilers? Stop worrying about spoilers. You need to find ways to market the book, and you have to not worry about a tiny bit of the book being spoiled when you do this. Because that's what it is. It's a tiny, tiny bit of the book, a tiny portion of a scene. We're not spoiling massive chunks of the book here. We're just using emotionally juicy scenes in order to sell the book. So here I'm gonna switch over and we're gonna do stuff on the computer and show you exactly how I go and pull these scenes. All right, so right now I have the Vellum app open. This is the formatting app I use to make my books formatted really nice, make them look really nice, both on Kindle and print. It's a little bit pricey, totally worth the price. This isn't even an ad. I use it all the time though. So again, we are not marketing using spicy content. We are marketing using emotional scenes. We are hooking people with the emotional juice of the book. And unfortunately, when it comes to marketing this book, there's going to be a little bit of spoilery stuff for books 1 and 2 because the main man in book 3 is kind of unknown. Nobody knows what his supernatural thing is, only that he is supernatural in some way. And book 3, you obviously know what it is by then. So we're going to scroll through, and I'm not reading it. I've written the book. I know what it's about, okay? It's been a minute since I've read the beginning of the book because the book isn't done. It's not edited yet. As you can see, I don't even have all of my chapters imported in here, but I'm only really going to use the first half of the book to market it anyway. So I have plenty of that. So this is where my character has been kidnapped, which is the end of book 2. Oh, look, a typo immediately found. That's fun. Okay, so this scene I'm gonna use, and I'm just gonna copy and paste this into a Word document. This is how I do it for clients as well, by the way. Back when I was taking clients, I would copy and paste into a Word document and then format it and edit it to make it proper for social media. By the way, if you want more detail on how to do this for other books, for fiction books of all genres, make sure to check out the link in the description for the course that has helped over 3,000 authors make a full-time living from their books. So my goal here is not to do like super action-y scenes. I'm trying to find things that are emotional and relatable and really hit on like fear of rejection, fear of loneliness, because insecurity is the top seller in my books for me. It goes over spicy scenes. It works better than like the dramatic, stuff. It works better than the shocking stuff because everybody can relate to insecurity in some way. Okay, so this scene I'm for sure gonna pull because he's rejecting her straight up. I love all the typos I'm finding here. That might not be spelled right. We'll find out in the editing stage. That works. And I'm not trying to get like every scene in the book, but I did juice up this book really good when I wrote it because this is the first book I wrote or started to write after reading 7-Figure Fiction. I just haven't completed it yet, ironically. Okay, so I'm gonna try to skip past the scene, that scene. Sometimes I feel like I did a good job writing my books. Sometimes it's really hard to work around the spice, but I manage. Man, I can spell. Okay, so now that I have pulled the scenes, I'm going to edit them. I like to put them in second person POV so that the reader, so that like the viewer on TikTok or whatever is like in the POV of the character. And I am doing an insane amount of censoring just because TikTok is a butt. Like any body part, I'm gonna censor. So the reason that I'm doing this and spacing it like this is because I'm gonna format it in Excel after this in order to bulk create my content. Also, it doesn't really matter if it's in past or present tense. And we're gonna see how many lines this is because I don't want to go over 35. Oh, we're fine. I even take out kisses because, you know, TikTok is a butt. Okay, so that one's fine. And so then I'm just gonna put it in Excel. And I don't remember how many I had, around 10-ish. And this is just for my visual formatting. And then I'm also going to find and replace my quotation marks so that we don't have formatting issues, and my apostrophes, and probably my ellipses as well. I'm usually pretty good at getting the ellipses fixed, but who knows? Let's check commas too. Commas should all be the same. Just gonna change them just in case though. And that's it. That's how I pull and format my scenes. It's not really all that complicated, but if you want to learn more and go into more detail of how I write them and format them and use them in order to market my books, make sure to check out the link in the description.